Hello there. I just thought I'd maybe say something to you in this format and thought you might hear me. You might remember my voice, or you might just kind of, I don't know that I'm here in a different way, that I'm not just an email in a box. This, I don't really know what I want to say to you, but it's all I know is that this has been impossible. It has been for many, many, many years, but I think the last 2 years has been it's just really difficult, Pierce. It's really, really hard. Um, for all the reasons I've said to you before, and I don't really understand what you've done recently. I can't understand you just stopping without even saying, I'm going to stop now. You just go away. You just go away, and it leaves me feeling, I can't even tell you how bad it is, really. I mean, it's just ruined my life. It's very, very hard. And I just don't know how to get that across to you. I mean, you were writing to me there a while back, and then suddenly it stopped again. I know you were up in the hospital and all of that, and you were sick at some point, but I've been in hospitals as well, and I've been away, not for a long time. And no matter where you are these days, you can email or phone or pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Something you never have done, really. You haven't asked me how I am, how I'm getting on in the PhD, how I feel, how this is impacting on me. You haven't asked me any of that. And I mean, it has had a huge impact. Huge impact. I suppose there are times in the last while where I just haven't been able to kind of function at all in the last while, in the last 2 years especially, and there's been other times as well. And I suppose I do feel that, do I deserve this? I don't know, maybe I do. Maybe I do. I should never have done something like that. And on the other hand, between you and me, do I deserve it? I don't know if I do, really. I think anybody is entitled to move on with their lives. I've said that before. But I don't know. There's just something about the way you're doing this that's it's very hard to take. I feel like I'm being, dangled or something, or I mean, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Could you say to me, look, I'm not going to contact you for the next 6 months or something? Or you just say something. But there's this kind of nothingness that goes on. I don't know, I know you've changed. There's this nothingness. I know you've changed. You've been doing a lot of things and you're busy. I'm busy too. I just happen to be trying to complete a PhD. I don't believe that anybody is ever too busy to contact somebody, or too sick, or even if you're dying, you can contact somebody. I mean, I suppose there's always, what I'm trying to say is that there's always a reason, or there's always something. There's always, I'm busy. Mostly it's just you're busy, or you can't, but actually it really is a choice that you're making. And I suppose I just wish you'd say, this is a choice I'm making, to walk away. I don't know, maybe because of the kind of life I've led myself and my own problems that I've had in my own life, Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just worse or something. But it is. It does seem very unfair the way this has happened. It's like, I just feel lost. I feel. I feel. Sometimes it's just so bad. I don't know what to do with it. It's like, as Catherine says about Jacob, it's in my DNA, and it is like being. It's like every minute of every day. It's like there all the time, morning, noon, and when I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I think about. Um, and like I don't know. I know, it's a funny time doing a PhD, and you're on your own a lot. But there was this person in my life in some way, even though it was never adequate. But I had this person to talk to kind of say, okay, we'll have these little chats every evening, or very often we had chats in the evening, even if it was only by email. It made me feel like less lonely, I suppose. But apart from that, it was actually, and it is actually real as well. Of course, there's part of me that hates you because of what's happened, but there's also very real feelings, and I don't know. It's like, can you not be clearer and say, I'm going away, or else don't, like one or the other. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm saying, because I actually feel sick. I feel sick from the whole thing. I feel tired and devastated, really. And it has had a huge impact on my entire life, on all of my life. I never really thought that, I suppose I always thought that at the end of the day you wouldn't abandon me, because you said you wouldn't. I always thought you'd be there somewhere, and you're not really, Like, I haven't actually seen you since the beginning of November. I didn't see you over Christmas. I saw you, I think, on the 17th or 18th of November, because it was the day after my birthday, because you couldn't meet me then. You didn't give me a birthday present, you didn't give me a Christmas present, mind you never did. You didn't meet me over Christmas, which is a really hard time, or the New Year, or in January. Not the end of November, December, January. Now we're into the middle of February. That's 3 months. And you've written to me very little as well. And you're entitled to get on with your life, but I wish you'd sort of brought me along with you, or sort of included me in that decision. And so you just do things, and you just go away, and it's like, where am I now, where am I? And there's a huge loss, and there's a huge grief and a bereavement in that, because even if it wasn't ideal, and it wasn't real, and it was kind of real, it wasn't what I wanted to be, it was something, and it was something really important to me. And I suppose I wish I could find a way to explain to you how much what you're doing in the last 2 years is affecting me so much. And I don't know, I feel like, you've become mixed up or you're sort of involved with the AA, and there's something, your head is thinking differently. It's like, in some ways, being with a different person, some of which I'm glad of, because it's, I'm glad to see that you're happier. But in other ways, I don't actually understand anymore. I don't understand what you're doing, or what you have done, or where you're gone, or why you're gone, why you've left me completely. I don't know how to deal with it. I suppose ultimately what I feel is something like, there's all the difficult feelings, and the kind of like all the things, like, I think you have treated me badly. I think you have. I think you've been quite disrespectful to me at times. A lot of the time, I think what you're doing at the moment is very disrespectful to me. But at the same time, the problem I have, I think, is that it's a really very deep level. There's a very real connection there for me, and I know it's not there for you, but you did engage with that for a very, very long time, and I just would like you to acknowledge that. I'd like you to acknowledge the impact this has had on me. I'd like you to, maybe even apologize or say you understand. I don't want you to apologize. I know you could say we were both in this together, but the impact on my life is completely different than it is on yours. And there are ways in which you could help if you wanted to. And I think what's happened is it's very hard for me to come to terms with the fact that you actually just don't want to. It is a choice you're making. I mean, even if you're sick at home, and actually, in a very real way, I worry if you are sick. I wonder if your parents are okay. I wonder if you're sick. See, for me, this is kind of a real thing. It was never a kind of a joke or a kind of plaything for me. It was real, and it still is. And I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to talk to you anymore, or how can you get something across, or what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just not feel it, not just go away? That's the way I feel. Like it's like you just want me to go away. But say that, at least say it. In a way, the thing is, I really miss having you around, talk to somebody, to talk to. Our conversations, our hugs, our emails even though that was really always annoying that, it was an email rather than in person. And it was a bit unreal in some ways, and maybe you were a different person then as well. I wasn't. I'm the same me. And I don't think you are really, There were times one or two times when we went away even, and there was a lot of sexual contact. It's something that you really wanted for a long time. You don't need that or want it now. I even wonder if you've met somebody else to do that with. And I do, of course, always feel that thing of being the toy that you used to play with. Okay, you could say you've stopped that now. I don't know. But I want to get at your integrity, because I know there's an integrity in there. And I know there's an integrity in relation to Pat. But I really believe that there should be an integrity towards me as well. And I'd like you to try and still kind of find that balance with me, or find some way of honouring what we had. I'd like to say what we still have. And if there's nothing there at all inside in you, then what was this kind of all about? It wasn't like, how can you do that with somebody and be with somebody in that kind of intimate way many, many millions of times? Okay, thousands. And then not, and then there's nothing. I just don't operate in that way. Like, to me it's a real thing. It's so tangible, it's so constant. And I know you don't want to be that in my life, but you also have to, I feel, take some responsibility for it, and like it's almost like you had nothing to do with it or something. It's like that sink or swim thing. And it's that kind of psychology that you use. It drives me mad. It's like you're saying something like, you're not responsible for my feelings. That just fucking drives me insane. You know, it's not like you're responsible or I'm responsible. You know, like it's like a situation has been there. That's something you read in a textbook, and I'm sure it's really, you know. To be honest with you, I'd hate to live my life like that. That's not how human beings are. You know, that's not like, yeah, okay, we're all ultimately responsible for ourselves. But I mean, like, you could, if that's the case, you could just go out and like shoot somebody and say, well, you know, sorry, like, you know, you have to deal with it now because, you know, your feelings have nothing to do with my actions. You know, it's just ludicrous, really, to be honest. So I don't know if you'll even listen to this. I mean, I don't even know if you said a while back you hadn't looked at your inbox for my emails even. It's such a sense of despair, really, that you're kind of, am I mad or something? Or, am I mad, really? You know? And there's a lot of other things going on in my life as well. I've had a huge problems with my health over the last 2 years. Huge problems. I mean, I was very, very sick over the last week or so again with my hernia. I have the issues with my mum. Now, you know what that's about. And I've my own loneliness, I suppose, and trying to deal with all of that. And it's this thing that you were kind of in my life and were part of my life and gave me some sense of something that I didn't have from somewhere else anyway. It was never, ever, ever enough. But it was very important to me. And still is very important to me. And when you disappear in this way, I don't know what to do with it. It's like somebody's taken away my limb or something, or it's like it's even worse than that, actually. It's like taking away something it's like part of me or some core bit of me that's just been constantly been taken away. And I know that there might be a million reasons that you think, you know, but look, I've been through quite a lot of things myself in terms of traumas and sicknesses and people in hospital and that. And if you want to be in touch with somebody, you are. So obviously you're making that choice. And I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? Could you just kind of maybe say that that's the choice you're making and just tell me to go away completely, but just don't stop in this way? Or can you not try to make something that works and that is that can retain some of that closeness and intimacy? Not even the intimacy, it's the closeness, it's the presence in my life, it's that connection that has always been there, and ultimately that's the problem. It's this deeper thing that I feel with you. There is nobody else in my life, have past, present, and I'm sure future, that I have that with, or that I feel that about. And while you've always said you love Pat, the bit I want you to take on board is that you were part of making that happen as well, and you used to have feelings for me as well, but you also were part of the dynamic between us and the relationship between us that built that. Like, it didn't come out of nowhere. So I suppose what I'm asking you is, you know, on the other hand, can you do that? Can you? I don't know what I'm saying. It's just really horrendous. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just really depressed and upset, and I really don't know how to deal with this. And I don't think it's something I can deal with. It's just too kind of. There is something I'd like to say about it that I don't want to say. I'd probably prefer to say in person, but it's just really important, and not in a kind of, people move on, I suppose, but sometimes, I don't know, it's different. Anyway, look, I'm going away. I hope you'll have a listen to it. Put on your earphones. Too late now. I'll put it in the email. Please contact me.